Hey, what's up, peoples? It's your boy PC Williams coming to y'all live again on a great Monday. This is 1K Sports, where we keep it uncut, unbiased, unfiltered, unapologetic. Got some great things to have to get into today, y'all. It's another great show. Got some good news for all my 1K Sports fans coming up here at the end of the show. But in the meantime, y'all know how we do, man. You know what I'm here for. So, all right. So, college football is 3 weeks old. The NFL is 2 weeks old. Still very early. Still a lot of overreaction going on. Still a lot of big time teams playing cupcake schedules and things like that. You know, we got different things going on. My boy Eddie Brown from Duval County saying, Jags Nation. I'll be answering questions and providing feedback along the way here. So, what's up, Eddie B? Jaguars doing their thing, man. I'll get into that in a second. Well, over the weekend, there were some good games in college football, a couple ranked, matchups. Had LSU against Auburn, Ohio State against TCU. And then, of course, Oklahoma State went against, who was that? Boise State, took care of them. Hey, my mother-in-law, Miss Deion Anderson, here in Duval County, go Cowboys. You already know what it is. But anyways, I watched the LSU and Auburn game, and I gotta say, man, LSU is legit. And as you all know, I am a Bama fan. I love Alabama. This is 1K Sports. I am being fair and unbiased. I am a Bama fan. Off my show, I'm a Bama fan. And LSU has always been the biggest rivalry to the Tide, in terms of always being that team that's right there. And when I tell you, man, LSU looks great. They look as dominant as ever on defense. Devin White is a bad man. That defense is unbelievable. Ed Orgeron is like he started to change the culture there at LSU, man. They show that they are for real. Now, Auburn, for all my SEC fans, Auburn is not a friendly place to play. Alabama lost their last year. They lost their, a few years ago with the kick six. So it's not an easy place to play. And they went in there and won the game. It was a back and forth battle, but LSU, for the most part, was in control the whole game. So Joe Burrow, who was the LSU Tigers quarterback, this kid is amazing. Now he's not some Heisman front runner or some big arm talent that just can't be missed. He is a very solid quarterback that can make good throws, can manage the game, don't turn the ball over. He does all of that. And that makes LSU a really big threat. And they have Alabama this year in Baton Rouge at night. Now, all my college fans know, when you play LSU at night in Death Valley, it doesn't get any tougher, more hostile, more loud, more daunting of a task than it is right there. So I definitely think LSU is Bama's biggest threat right now. I mean, you got Auburn and Mississippi State. They're solid, but Bama has them at home. So those are very, favorable matchups. They will be tough nonetheless. But LSU right now is Bama's biggest, threat, biggest immediate threat. Because Bama will, they have big plans to play in December and January. So, but as of right now, in the close future, LSU is their biggest competitor. So definitely keep a lookout on LSU. Now, Auburn did lose, but Auburn, they do it every year. They lose some game early. Everyone started saying fire Gus Malzahn, and then all of a sudden they started winning, rolling off. Big Ron, my man, Big Ron, up there in Massachusetts, man, big Boston fan. Go Red Sox, my man, Big Ron Wright from Boston. Go Red Sox, roll tide. You know what it is, baby. But anyways, the night game was Ohio State against TCU. Ohio State won the game pretty easily, but I feel like TCU, they blew an opportunity. I feel like for so many years now, we've watched TCU and they've become like a Cinderella story. Alabama is not scared, just so we know that. But anyways, Ohio State, really went out there and did what they're supposed to do. They lost Urban Meyer for the first three games of the season. That's never easy. I don't care how talented you are. When you lose your coach, that's hard to come back from. And they're 3-0. Urban's coming back. It's gonna be great. But I feel like TCU blew an opportunity. This was TCU's chance to finally shut up all the naysayers and finally just say, hey, look, we're here. We're for real. We're not a show. This is for real. We're not here playing around. And for the most part, to start the game off, TCU looked pretty good. Then they went back to the old TCU, not converting first downs, just very stagnant on offense. Ohio State got 2 defensive scores. That will wreck any game plan, trust me. So Ohio State outscored them 27-14 in the second half. So Ohio State looking damn good, man. They got a lot of young talent, great offense. They got a great quarterback, great receivers all over the place, man. So, but one thing I want to let everyone know, Ohio State is a force to be reckoned with. Now, I did pick Michigan to win the Big Ten and go to the college football playoff. I picked Michigan because I feel like Jim Harbaugh has no choice. He's literally, in my opinion, coaching for his job. He has to beat Ohio State or he's fired. That's just my personal opinion. So I picked Michigan to win the Big Ten really out of necessity. Like, hey, you guys have no choice. Your coach's job's on the line. You have no choice but to win this year. But Ohio State is a force to be reckoned with. They're very young and talented. As you all saw on defense, Nick Bosa, who is Joey Bosa's little brother, he is a bad man. That Ohio State defensive line is bad. That whole receiving core, that offense is just loaded, man. Paris Campbell, Haskins at quarterback, man. Just Dobbins and Weber at running back, just loaded, man. Just loaded all over the place. And I want y'all to understand something. A motivated Urban Meyer is dangerous. If you remember in 2008, the loss to Ole Miss, everyone remembers the Tebow speech, the I Promise speech. But as you all know, I had some coaches that was very connected with that program, and they said that practice after that loss was probably the most grueling practice they ever saw a coach put his players through. So Urban Meyer is the kind of coach that adversity helps him realize his competitive edge. He has an edge that he, whether you say it's good or bad, he carries that edge, wherever he goes at. So right now, he was suspended for 3 games. Whether you say it was justified or unfair, it happened. So now you got a very motivated Urban Meyer, a very talented Ohio State team. So look out for this team going down the stretch. Look out for this team, down the road for a playoff spot, challenging Michigan. Hell, last year, Bama and Georgia got in. Maybe Ohio State gets in, and not win the Big Ten. But hey, as of right now, I got Michigan, but Ohio State should be the clear-cut favorite, but I just got Michigan because I feel like Michigan owes it to themselves, and Jim Harbaugh has to back up this trash talk and win this division and win this conference. No excuses made or accepted. So, well, as you all know, Bama cruised to yet another dominant win, and the perception, which is a word I'll get to later on in the show, perception is that, oh, Bama beat Ole Miss. Oh, they're Ole Miss. Well, Ole Miss was 2-0, and they have probably the best receiving core in the country. And you got an Alabama team that's very young and very inexperienced, particularly in the secondary. So now you got a very inexperienced Bama secondary going against a very experienced, very talented Ole Miss receiving core, and they scored 7 points. And now the first play of the game, they scored 7 points. So the Bama defense questions were answered for the most part because this was a big test. You're in a hostile environment. I don't care who the opponent is. When you play an SEC team on the road, that is hostile territory. It doesn't get any easier. It gets harder each time. It doesn't matter whether it's Kentucky, or whoever, Tennessee. When you play an SEC team in their house, it's hostile environment. And Bama went in there and just cruised, man. So, like I said, it was a great effort by the defense. Ole Miss was very talented, very loaded at receiver. So, like I said, high-powered offense against a young secondary, and the secondary actually comes up with a couple picks and a pick 6 and gives up 7 points. Hey, I'll take it all day long, man. And like I said before, man, Tua Tagovailoa is special. This kid is just simply special. That left hand, the way he throws the ball, man, it's like poetry in motion. It's beautiful. It almost looks unorthodox. It almost looks kind of, what is he doing? But that's left hand quarterback for you, man. He throws the ball so perfect, and you got this loaded receiving core with Jerry Jeudy, Eric Waddle. You got Devontae Smith, the national championship game hero, Henry Ruggs, the touchdown machine. These guys are loaded all over the place. Too much turnovers, penalty. That's something that I know the great Nick Saban is preaching to his team as of right now. But they are very much loaded. And to be honest with you, I may be kind of early saying this, but I'm going to say it, and I feel very confident in saying this. This may be Nick Saban's best team he's ever had. And he's had some great teams, but they were mainly great because of how great they were on defense. 2011, 2009, 2015, even the 2016 team that didn't win a championship were probably his best team defense-wise and just overall talent. But this squad right here, with this quarterback and those receivers and those running backs, this aggressive play calling, it's amazing what they're doing, man. And then you give Alabama, this is what I've always said for years, college football's worst nightmare is Nick Saban with the quarterback. He has one. He's had quarterbacks over along the years, John Parker Wilson, Greg McElroy, Jake Coker, Blake Sims, even Jalen Hurts. None of those guys are the kind of player or talent that Tua Tagovailoa is. He is a special talent that doesn't come around too often. As a matter of fact, I'll go out there and throw another big prediction out there. This kid could win the Heisman. He should be the favorite to win the Heisman. The only person that can stop him from winning the Heisman is his own head coach, because he's insisting on putting Jalen Hurts in after every 21-0 lead and just throwing Jalen in there, who, by the way, if he plays 2 more games, the red shirt's done. So I think we might want to go ahead and put an end to this whole experiment, Nick. But for the most part, Tua Tagovailoa, it should be the Heisman favorite. Bama should be the national championship favorite. This kid is amazing, and he's giving Alabama something they never had, even with Julio Jones and T.J. Yeldon and Lacey, Ingram, Richardson, Cooper, O.J. Howard. All this talent we've had offensively come through this program, and yet they've never had the right quarterback to fit these great talented receivers. Now you got 4 legit number 1 receivers and 4 legit number 1 running backs. Good luck stopping the tide, baby. Good luck. But like I said, Bama and LSU will be the biggest game this year so far. Of course, we got Ohio State and Michigan coming up. Of course, we got, Notre Dame going against Stanford coming up soon. So, but as of right now, I think the biggest game in college football this year will be Bama and LSU. All roads are leading to Death Valley at night with Bama against LSU. That will be the biggest game of the year, and I firmly believe the winner of that game goes on to win the SEC championship game and goes on to win the national championship. That's my prediction, and of course it will be Bama. Now, I did pick Washington, Michigan, and Miami to be in the playoffs along with Alabama. I feel very confident with Washington. They won a very good game in Utah in a very hostile environment. Now, that's another thing, where they go into a hostile environment, the opponent isn't ranked, but they're very tough at home. And Utah is a very tough team to beat at home. As you remember, that was Jim Harbaugh's first game at Michigan in Utah, and they beat him down pretty bad. So I definitely got Washington. I still feel confident. Like I said, the loss to LSU, the loss to Auburn, the first game of the year, I don't count that against them. They actually looked pretty good in defeat. They should have won that game by about 10 points. And they look good. They look good ever since. Michigan and Miami, they're beating up on bad teams, so kind of hard to digest what they're going through right now. But as of right now, I still have my 4 playoff picks, and everything is still setting up for it to be those 4 teams from what I'm seeing right now. So, all right. Well, NFL Week 2, baby. And we had us a game yesterday. the Jacksonville Jaguars against the New England Patriots. It's been very anticipated, a lot of hype, in the barbershops all around Duval County, man. Everybody was ready for this game. And the Jacksonville Jaguars did not disappoint. They look great. They look dominant. They look fluid. They look fearless. They just look like the team to beat right now in the AFC. Yesterday, the Jaguars, in my opinion, made a big statement. That was a big win for the Jaguars. Probably their biggest win regular season wise in the wild. Because last year, no one saw the Jaguars coming. And they, not to try to down the Jaguars parade or anything like that, but they beat a lot of quarterbacks last year who wasn't really that good. So, like I said, this year, the Jaguars, they have a target on their back. Everyone sees them coming. Jalen Ramsey has pretty much talked himself into being PE number one. Public enemy number one is Jalen Ramsey. I love it, though. The defense is loaded. Blake Bortles played out of his mind. They didn't have Leonard Fournette. That's something to keep an eye on going down the road, in the future. So, but it was a great win for the Jaguars mental, because I feel like when you play a team like New England, you gotta believe in your heart. You gotta believe in your heart that you can beat that team. You gotta play against New England with the mindset, look, I can beat this team, I will beat this team, and I can do it more than once. The Jaguars did step one. You beat New England in your house. So now, if it comes down to it, if it comes down to New England's 13-3 and Jaguars 13-3, then guess what? New England's coming back to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. So it was a big win for the Jaguars from a mental confidence standpoint, saying, hey, we can beat this team. It's one thing to go to New England last year and almost win, but then to go and, hey, okay, we almost won, but we have to beat this team to really believe we can do it. And they did that. You gotta believe you can beat New England Patriots if you want to beat them. You can't just play New England. It's okay, we can't beat them. They're any other team. But when you have to actually beat this team in the playoffs, you gotta have that mental mindset. Hey, we can beat this team. This team can be had. And the Jaguars took a big step toward being champions yesterday by beating a championship team with the whole world watching and the whole world looking. And that was great on their part. Like I said, the Jaguars defense, man, it's the best defense that I've seen since the 2013 Seahawks and the 2015 Denver Broncos. They are just amazing. Like I said, Calais Campbell, Ngakoue, Fowler, Darius, Jackson. Then you got Telvin Smith, Miles Jack, Ramsey, Abuye, Church, Harrison, and Gibson. I mean, just loaded everywhere, man. And I picked the Jaguars. The Jaguars are my pick to win the AFC. I said before the season started, before all this happened, I said the Jaguars are the favorites to win the AFC because what they have defensively doesn't come around that often. What the Jaguars have going for them right now defensively in this day and age with this offense and these rules and everything like that, hey, they have something special now with free agency and money and all that stuff like that. At some point, they're going to lose some of these players at some point. But right now, the Jaguars have a defense that can go against any offense, anytime, anywhere. Passing, running, they can stop anything. Right now, they're the best defense I've seen in some time, man. My boy Frankie Costello, a.k.a. Michael Hicks from Duval County, chiming in. He was a damn good ball player. Played one of the all-time greats at Andrew Jackson High School. Played at Ole Miss when they beat Tebow. He gave that speech, so he knows a lot about this what Urban Meyer will do going forward. So congrats, Frankie, man. Y'all led to another championship. Got them all mad and all upset. They won a championship after that, man. But that was a great game. It was a great game, man. They stopped Tebow on 4th and 1, won the game. Hey, it was a great game, man. So shout out to my man, Frankie Costello, man, from Duval County. But like I said, man, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense I will put them against any offense. Any offense in the NFL, I will put the Jacksonville Jaguars defense across from it, and I like their chances. They're just that dominant on defense. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars win yesterday was kind of a double-edged sword, because anyone who watches the Jacksonville Jaguars know that their weakness, their biggest Achilles heel, is Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is the Jacksonville Jaguars' biggest weakness. But how ironic. The Jacksonville Jaguars' biggest weakness, their biggest question mark, just might be their secret weapon. If Blake Bortles plays like this, the Jaguars are beating everyone. They're winning the Super Bowl. But I'm not quite confident in Blake Bortles. I'm not very confident in him doing this every single game. Now, am I confident that Blake Bortles can do this? Yes. Am I confident that he can take advantage of a weak secondary like New England has? Yes. I'm very much confident he can put up these kind of numbers against a bad defense. See, the perception is this. Blake Bortles outplayed Tom Brady. But Tom Brady went against Jacksonville. Blake Bortles went against the worst pass defense in football. A pass defense that the backup quarterback, Nick Foles, lit up for 370 in the Super Bowl. So this is a very bad defense. I'm not trying to take anything away from Blake Bortles, but hey, this is 1K Sports. We keep it real. You know, keep it 1,000, man, whether you like it or not. So, Blake Bortles played great yesterday. But answer this question for me, Jacksonville Jaguar fans. Are y'all confident in Blake Bortles to do this every single game? Me personally, I'm not. He can very much do this again. But can you count on Blake Bortles to always come through and do this? Me personally, I don't think so. Because yesterday, the Patriots made a little comeback attempt, and as they started coming back, as they started creeping way back into the game, you started seeing the old Blake Bortles overthrowing balls. He threw a pick. I mean, thank God for that defense, man, because the Patriots were on the comeback, man. So just to keep an eye on. You know, Blake Bortles is solid. He is the perfect quarterback for this team because what you have defensively and what you have in the backfield with Fournette and Yeldon. But do I trust Blake Bortles every single game? No. And that's why I have the Jaguars losing the Super Bowl to the LA Rams. Because the Rams have a quarterback in the offense that can put up points to match their shutdown defense. I can't always count on Blake Bortles. I can always say he gonna come through like that. Because just last week against the Giants, I mean, you take away Miles Jack pick six, the Jaguars lose that game to the Giants. So I'm not saying pump the brakes, Jaguar fans. I'm not saying push the gas. Put in cruise control. Ride it out. Let's see how Bortles responds against a better defense. Let's see how he responds on the road against a better defense. Let's just see. Pittsburgh defense sucked. The Patriots defense sucked. So the AFC is wide open for the Jaguars to take it. The AFC is the Jaguars to take at this point. So I still feel very confident in the Jaguars winning the AFC and getting to the big game. And I also feel very confident in my pick of Jalen Ramsey for Defensive Player of the Year. Like I said, he took an L last week against Odell Beckham. I feel like Odell had 11 for 211 against him, man. So, I mean, not but he had 11 for 111 against Ramsey. Now, it wasn't all on Ramsey. You know, I think Ramsey guarded him like 7 plays. They targeted him 7 times, 5 catches, 75 yards. I still give Odell the edge on that one, but Ramsey won the game. And Ramsey is a great cornerback on a great defense. And I feel like he's my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm not backing off of that. I still feel like it's his year to do his thing, man. With the squad he has around him, this could be the Jaguars here, man. And a great year for Jalen Ramsey as well. So, Like I said, the AFC is the Jaguars on to lose. But let this question marinate, Jaguar fans. Let this marinate. Do you really trust Blake Bortles to duplicate this performance all the time? Hey, the answer to that question, can Blake Bortles duplicate this performance all the time or most of the time? The answer to that question will be the answer to the question of Jaguars win the Super Bowl or not. Because defense is not the problem. Running game is not the problem. Even though you did lose left tackle Ken Robinson, roll tide, big Cam, man, get well soon, man. But, receivers are very solid, running game, defense. So at this point, it's all on the right arm of Blake Bortles, man. So let it marinate, Jacksonville Jaguars. 2-0, but do you really trust your quarterback? All right. Well, the nightcap game was the Cowboys against the New York Football Giants. I thought it was a great, solid win for the Cowboys. Now, I know what everyone's going to say. Oh, my God, it's New York. They suck. They're not good. Oh, whoop-de-doo, Cowboys. Well, like I just said, y'all, you take away Miles Jack pick six, this Giants team that's so bad beats the Jaguars. And instead of us saying the Jaguars are 2-0 and a favorite, we're saying they're 1-1, and who are these guys really? But a Miles Jack pick six is the reason the New York Giants are 0-2. So it was a solid win. A win is a win. It was a great win, but I still have my concerns about Dak Prescott in this passing game. Now, he hit Tavon Austin for a 65-yard touchdown on the third play of the game. After that play, he had 90 yards passing. So I'm not sold on Dak Prescott just yet. There are still issues lingering. I feel like he's a solid quarterback, a solid leader, very much overrated as a passer. He's solid. He can get the job done. But he's not going to win you a bunch of games by himself. And Ezekiel Elliott needs to touch the ball. He does it for a reason. Feed Zeke. Feed him. In 2 games, Zeke Elliott has touched the ball 40 times. 40. In both games so far, he's had under 20 carries. That's not getting the job done. I understand everyone is loading the box up to stop Zeke. I understand you're running against 8-9-man boxes, but you have to feed Ezekiel Elliott. You have to make the defense honest. If you're ever going to pass the ball and have some kind of success, Zeke has to get the ball. He has to get fed. There is no excuse why Ezekiel Elliott should have less than 25 carries a game. There is no reason why Zeke should have less than 30 touches a game. He should have at least 20 to 25 carries and 5 to 10 catches. The Cowboys don't use Zeke the right way. And that's why everyone is so in love with Saquon Barkley and so in love with Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley because of how they get used, how they get put in the system, in the game plan. We don't use Zeke the right way. And it has to change. Zeke has to touch the ball. Because you got Skip Bayless who swears up and down that Zeke Elliott is out of shape. Well, Skip, how we know that if he ain't getting the ball? Because from what I see, when he gets the ball, he averages 5.7 a touch. That's nearly 5 yards a carry. Get this man the ball. Dak Prescott is not Peyton Manning. Dak Prescott is not Tom Brady. Get Zeke Elliott the ball. It starts and ends with Zeke. And the Cowboys need a big play receiver. This receiving core, I get it. Tavon Austin showed something last night. Cole Beasley is solid. I think Allen Hurns was a wasted pick. I'm not sold on him. Deontay Thompson, not sold on him at all. I think we have some very good, solid 2 and 3 receivers. But the Cowboys need that big play guy. that can come in and say, okay, you gotta respect me, so put that safety out the box. So the Cowboys need a big time receiver. But Josh Gordon has got a new home anyway, and we will get to that in just a minute. We will get to that. Now the Earl Thomas trade, that's still a conversation to be had. That's still a conversation that the Cowboys should still go out and get Earl Thomas. Because this secondary is very raw and very young. I love Awuzie. Now, Odell Beckham had 11 catches for 111 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that secondary. Well, against the Cowboys secondary, he had 4 catches, 51 yards. That's not an accident. Eli Manning was sacked 6 times. That's no accident. This Dallas Cowboys defense, I'm not saying it's doomsday defense, so Hollywood Henderson, please don't come snap my neck in two. I'm not saying this Cowboys defense is the doomsday defense of the past. I'm not saying that. So breathe easy, Hollywood, Too Tall, all y'all folks. Just breathe easy. I ain't saying they on y'all level, but they damn legit. And you gotta think, Randy Gregory is a red flag. I've always had a perception that he's not gonna be available because of his issue. But if he is available, if he is on the field, that's 10 more sacks. Taco Charlton is finally becoming what he needs to become. David Irvin will be back in 2 more games. DeMarcus Lawrence is very much earning that $14 million. Jalen Smith is back. Jalen Smith, the guy from Notre Dame, who was a top 5 projected pick, but he blew his knee out, had some bad issues with his nerves and his foot. He is back. He is back to his top 5 4.3 speed self. Sean Lee is solid. Hopefully he can stay healthy. What's up, man? Frostbite, man. My man Frostbite. What's happening with you? Yeah, man. Anytime, man. It's my help you get pick a game the correct way. Like I said, man, the Colts are a legit team. They are very much legit. If Andrew Luck can get an offensive line and somewhat of a defense, this kid, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit for Andrew Luck, man. So, O-line and a halfway decent defense, and this kid can take you there, man. So, much love, my man Frostbite, man. Stay up, baby. Like I said, this Cowboys defense is scary. And they're scary good. And they're only going to get healthier and more depth as the season goes on. So, like I said, man, Dak Prescott in this offense, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on. If we're going to do anything, we have, like I said, Cole Beasley is okay. He's a good slot receiver, good solid slot receiver. He is not your leading top dog. That's not him. That could never be Cole Beasley. That's not his game. Tavon Austin is a good, change of pace guy. He can be a deep threat, as you saw last night. So he can be a deep threat. But we need that guy. We need that 90 to 100 catch guy. That 1,000 to the 1,200 yard catch guy. That 10 touchdown catch guy. That was Dez Bryant. That was Jason Witten. We no longer have that. So unless Jerry Jones plans on putting up a big old Herschel Walker type package and going to get Mike Evans or, I don't know, AB for all I know. But as of right now, the Cowboys are solid. I do love my Cowboys. It's a long season. But as of right now, last week I said I wasn't worried. I'm still not worried. But at the same time, I've yet to see anything from the Cowboys to change my mind about how concerned I am about what I'm seeing. Because Zeke has to get the ball more. Dak Prescott has to throw the ball down the field more. As we saw last night when he did, it was a good job of doing that. Stay aggressive. Our defense is legit. I'm not saying they're Jacksonville or the Rams or the Vikings, but you best believe they are a top 10 right now. And they are a force to be reckoned with. And the way they rush the passer, the way this defense can put pressure on your quarterback, look out in the playoffs. Look out. All right, y'all. Take me a sip of this good old energy drink. Now, folks, I'm not one to brag. You know, I feel like I'm a very intelligent young man. You know, so I'm not retarded. So when someone tells me that perception is reality or perception equals reality, that's BS. And miss me with that ignorant comment for the rest of my life. Because what I saw today was a prime example of bias, collusion, false narratives, planned perceptions. I saw today, I just saw a disgrace. Is what I saw. Let me tell you guys why. As you all know by now, the very talented, very troubled Josh Gordon was released by the Browns over the weekend. Before I came on my show today, he was re-signed, but he was signed by the New England Patriots. You know, the no nonsense. You know, we don't want any, distractions or anything like that. We don't want any of that. No. They signed Josh Gordon. The New England Patriots just signed Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, as you all know, has had trouble with weed, cocaine, alcohol, Xanax, lean, all this stuff going back to college. Oh, but here's the perception. He's a good kid. Oh, he's so talented. He's got Hall of Fame talent. This kid is a special football player. That's perception. But here's the reality. My man Big Ron from Boston, my man Mike Frazier from down there in Lakeland, my homeboys, man. I love you guys to death, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, giving y'all feedback. You darn right. The rich got richer. And I don't blame New England. I don't blame them at all. I don't blame them at all, man. They have a history of taking on these troubled guys. Or do they? Stay tuned, guys. The perception of Josh Gordon is that, now this is a guy who has admitted he has a problem. He has come out and admit he has an issue with saying no to cocaine and weed and liquor and Xanax and all the other exotic things you want to name out here in the world. He has a issue. This is a confessed addict. He has a drug and drinking problem. His Hall of Fame talent don't mean a damn thing to him, obviously. But he gets a contract. Based on what? Because he had one great year in 2014? 2014, Josh Gordon had 87 catches, 646 yards, 9 touchdowns. Amazing, right? Nah. AB and Julio, that's every year for them, man. So I ain't impressed by that. His next best year was the previous year when he had 50 catches, 800 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Now, ever since those 2 years, this guy has failed drug test after drug test after drug test. He's been in rehab again and again. He has relapsed again and again and again. And the Browns just cut him. And don't sit here and tell me the Browns cut him because of, he pulled his hamstring doing a promo. BS. I call BS on that. He relapsed again. Don't you get it? The guy relapsed over and over, and the Browns kept saying yes and yes. And you mean to tell me they cut this kid because of a pulled hamstring during a promo shoot? BS. I call BS on that. You're right, Mike. It's a new age. New age, same old double standard, same old BS, man. So check me out. So Josh Gordon gets all these chances. He gets 1,000 chances based on one great year, one mediocre year, and the rest of those years, he was non-existent. Well, Big Ron, his MRI clears him. So, yes, the hamstring injury is not why they cut him. I'm telling you, man, he failed a drug test. Something that was drug related is why he got cut. Well, of course, Big Ron, he's going to play for the Patriots because Bill Belichick not going to go and get some guy who's injured, right? It was not a hamstring, people. The man relapsed. But the Browns care so much about him, they put the story out that he pulled a hamstring doing off-the-field promotions. BS. He failed another drug test. He relapsed. They just don't want to ruin this Hall of Fame kid's potential. Get out of here with that, man. Stop the double standard. But, you know, I'm not, and please don't mistake me as a hater. I love Josh Gordon. I've read about the kid's story. I watched his documentary last night. I love the kid. I'm rooting for this kid to get it right. But if you're going to present me with a case that, hey, if you have off the field issues, if you are a locker room problem, you don't get a second chance. When your problems outweigh your production, you're done, right? Wrong. This kid's problems have clearly outweighed his production. Oh, but there is no place in the NFL for Dez Bryant. Are you freaking kidding me? I ain't never known Dez Bryant to have a drug problem. They don't. Well, my thing is this, Big Ron. I think the Browns do care about him to a fault. And maybe it's so much going on. Think about it. We know about the relapsing and the drug test. That's what we do know. Lord knows what they won't tell us. Lord knows what they're hiding from us. How often do you get the real story? Almost never. They're not going to tell us this kid failed another drug test. It's the Cleveland Browns. You suck anyway. So you need some kind of excuse why you cut your best player by far. And if Josh Gordon, who clearly has an issue staying off the drugs, is your best player, then you got a problem too. But the Browns say, look, we don't want this issue anymore. We love you, Josh. Peace out. That was how Josh got cut loose. But the perception is that Dez Bryant is trash and washed up. Let's compare. Because you got to pick your poison, right? The last time Josh Gordon was great was 2014. That was the last time we saw greatness from Josh Gordon. 2014. Now, what happened that same year? Oh, I know. Dez Bryant made All-Pro with 16 touchdown catches. That was the last time we saw great Dez Bryant, 2014. And okay, Mike, my man Mike Frazier from Tampa, from Lakeland. If that's the case, Mike, then what's Josh Gordon? Because I keep hearing about how great he is and how he's so talented, but why can't he stay on the field? Like I said, 2014, 2013. Name me another year Josh Gordon was in the league making plays. I'll wait. Oh, but Dez issue. Dez Bryant got an ego problem. He has sideline outbursts. There is no place in the NFL for this guy. But let's go back. 2014, at that time, Josh Gordon was a Hall of Fame talent receiver, and Dez Bryant was an All-Pro receiver, probably the best in the game at that time. And before 2014, the years before that, Josh Gordon was failing drug tests, in trouble, getting arrested, getting bailed out of trouble like he always does. And you're right, Mike. Dez Bryant's circle is dumb. And I've said it on my show. Dez Bryant has the wrong people around him. If I was Dez Bryant's agent, I would have spun this whole story in his favor and he'd be playing for a contender right now. He has the wrong people around him, and I've addressed that, Mike. I've said, look, Dez Bryant has played a role in why he's not signed with anyone yet. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to completely disregard and overlook the BS and double standard and the hypocrisy that is surrounding the situation. Josh Gordon, too. He has the wrong people around him. But see, Mike, the difference is this, though, bro. The difference is that when Josh Gordon got cut, his team said how much they love him and wish him best. When the Cowboys cut Dez Bryant, he's a problem. He shows up late. Bad teammate. Horrible route runner. Really? You can't just say, peace out, Dez. We love you, man. Good luck. No. You gotta send Dez Bryant out your building with some BS story behind it. That plays into that. So the way that they got released played a role in it. Josh Gordon got released with so much love in their heart. Oh, we love Josh Gordon. He's a good kid. He wants to change. He's a great guy. He's a smart, insightful kid. BS. They dirtied Dez Bryant's name. See, Dez Bryant is a psycho that can't get his head on straight. But I ain't never seen Dez Bryant in trouble over drugs. Has Dez Bryant ever felt a drug test? Has Dez Bryant come out and admitted on national television that he has a problem with 5 different vices? No. Josh Gordon did. And for some reason, he is America's sweetheart and Dez Bryant is the redhead stepchild. Ain't that funny, man? This reeks of hypocrisy. Double standard. But hey, man, that's the NFL for you. There is no place in the NFL for a guy like Dez Bryant. There is no place for a guy with 73 career touchdowns. There is no place for a guy like Dez Bryant with over 7,000 career yards in just 8 years. There's no place for him. Oh, and by the way, we go back to 2014 when Josh Gordon was last seen being a Hall of Fame type talent. Guess what? Dez Bryant was an All-Pro that year with Josh Gordon. They were the 2 receivers on the All-Pro first team. And the 2 years prior to that, Dez Bryant was a Pro Bowler. The 2 years prior to that, Josh Gordon was in trouble getting arrested and failing drug tests like he is right now. Le'Veon Bell doing what's best for Le'Veon Bell, Mike. I support Le'Veon Bell because you gotta get your money by any means necessary. So if Pittsburgh want to play hardball, you play hardball too. If I'm Le'Veon Bell, I come back and I play the minimal games required for my contract to be guaranteed for that year, and I have that 1 year done. If I'm Le'Veon Bell, man, I'm already got my bags packed. I'm leaving Pittsburgh tonight if I was Le'Veon Bell, man. So Le'Veon Bell, yeah, he had off-the-field issues too. But let's be real. That wasn't the issue when you was giving the ball 100 times every game. That wasn't the issue when it was great for you. So Le'Veon Bell off the issues. Come on, man. Le'Veon Bell never did what Josh Gordon did. Le'Veon Bell never did what Josh Gordon did. Okay, a DUI, and he got caught with some weed in a drug test. Okay, that's Josh Gordon on Tuesday. A DUI and some weed. Those are Le'Veon Bell's 2, hiccups. Got pulled over for a DUI and failed the drug test. How many drug tests has Josh Gordon failed? Lord knows how many. It's a double standard. It's hypocrisy at its finest. Don't tell me perception equals reality. No, it doesn't. Perception is just a fancy way of saying, this is my opinion, and this is why I'm right and you're wrong. That's perception. It's not reality. It's just a very educated opinion. It's not, it's perception. It's a hypothesis. It's an educated guess, an educated opinion. That's all this is. Anybody with half a brain can say, okay, well, there's no place for Dez Bryant in the league because he is a troubled guy with a bad temper who yells at teammates. Never been arrested, ever since the whole incident with his mom. Wasn't arrested after that. As a matter of fact, in that issue, the charges were dropped. Wrong or right, he did what he did. It's over and done with. Since that moment, have y'all seen a mug shot with Dez Bryant name on it? Have y'all heard some rumors about Dez Bryant in some Hollywood apartment with Johnny Manziel getting high every day, getting drunk every day? No. But I have heard about Josh Gordon, though. I have heard about Josh Gordon getting high in Hollywood with Johnny Manziel, can't stay off the cocaine. It ain't just weed. It ain't just weed with this kid. He's a Texas kid. He said last night in his documentary that, hey, I drank a lot of lean. That's very big where I'm from. This kid is telling you he got a problem. And he gets signed. And not only that, about 8, 9, 10 teams were inquiring about him. So don't tell me Dez Bryant doesn't have a job because of off the field issues or football. Because that's not what went into that decision. Because with Josh Gordon, you got off the field issues and you have a drop off in production. Because quite frankly, if you ain't there because you got high, then your production ain't where it needs to be. Now, I'm not bashing Josh Gordon. I'm just highlighting this pathetic, this asinine example of hypocrisy. There is no place for a guy who really just had one great year. I don't care how talented Josh Gordon is. I don't care if he has T.O. and Randy Moss talent. I don't care what he has. What he's shown me is an inability to make sound decisions, an inability to resist some damn cocaine and weed and promethazine and Xanax. The kid does it all. Oh, but we can't sign Dez Bryant because they say he got a bad attitude. Miss me with the perception is reality BS, man. Stop it. I ain't the smartest guy in the world, man. I never claimed to be. But even the guy with a half a brain can look at this and say, this is BS. You can't say on the field because on the field, Dez Bryant has outperformed Josh Gordon. You can't say off the field because Dez Bryant has been in less trouble than Josh Gordon. But Josh Gordon has a job as the starting receiver for the New England Patriots, a team that wouldn't even pick up the damn phone to call Dez Bryant, but they picked the phone up and called Josh Gordon. I'm done. Hypocrisy at its freaking worst, man. All right, enough of all that. I got a little worked up, man, but it's all good. I got love for Josh Gordon. I pray that the kid gets it together, man. But don't feed me the BS. Don't feed me the nonsense about, oh, he's got Hall of Fame talent and Dez Bryant's washed up. Because all I've seen from Josh Gordon is one great year and 1 year where he barely played because of drugs. And Dez Bryant has given me consistent production time and time again. Yeah, well, he a lot cheaper, just like the drugs he be using. But hey, I ain't trying to bash the kid, man. I just think my whole issue, Bit Ron, is that it's a double standard, bro. On what grounds can you convince me or anyone with half a brain why you wouldn't even call Dez Bryant? You wouldn't even call Dez Bryant. But you picked the phone up and you went and got Josh Gordon. But Dez Bryant couldn't get a phone call? Come on, man. Like, and on what grounds? Okay, and then everyone is just so sure. Oh, Josh Gordon is so much better than Darius Bryant. Oh, Josh Gordon is so much better than Darius Bryant. Really? Show me. Show me without talking about 2014. Show me without saying he's got Hall of Fame talent. What's the point of having Hall of Fame talent if the kid can't be on the field to showcase it? It's crazy. But hey, man, that's the NFL, kids. So word of advice for all you kids out there playing football. I don't care how talented you are. Make some good decisions. And if you're talented, if you are a kid with talent, make the right choices. Don't sit there and make bad choices because you know in your heart, I'm going to get off because I'm so damn good. I'm just so damn talented that they'll continue to look the other way while I keep doing X, Y, and Z. Don't get caught up in that. If you are a young kid growing up in the hood and you got some great talent, you do the right thing. Don't be a bad teammate. Don't be a drug addict. Because as you can clearly see, the NFL is not going to tell you what's right. They're going to tell you what's good for them. They're going to tell you what they want you to hear. What sounds good to them. So if you got Hall of Fame talent like Josh Gordon, if you got crazy ability like Darius Bryant, make the right choices. Who you hang with, who you associate yourself with, go to class, get your grades right. Don't fail a drug test. Don't do it. Don't even take drugs. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not out there for you to go do, but if you have a special talent with great power comes great responsibility. You got a great talent, you got a great big target on your back. Because, you're talented, and it's not just the jealous dope boys in your hood that you got to look out for. It's those greedy billionaires. It's those slick talking hair to the back those college coaches come sit in your living room and tell you how great you are. And tell you, hey, son, you ain't got to go to class. Well, you know what, coach? I ain't coming to your school then. If you are a kid with immense talent, make sure you're making the right choice. Be the change the NFL won't do. Be what the NFL won't be. And that's honest with yourself. Because the NFL clearly proved that we will punish you for sideline outbursts. But if you're super talented, we'll look past your long history of drug use and sign you. In both cases, it's BS. And in both cases, you got two misguided, misled, talented young men. One has greatly benefited from his issues and great talent, and the other one has demise because of it. In both cases, it's dead wrong. I'm done with it. Do the right thing, kids. Well, we come to the end here. We'll close it out here, y'all. Floyd Money Mayweather has decided that he wants to come back and box. And he decided he wants to come back and box Manny Pacquiao again. Bad move by Floyd. Don't do it, Floyd. If you're listening, don't do it. It's a bad move for Floyd. On all counts of it. You proved your point. You and Pacquiao fought in 2015. Now, I'm on record of saying they should have fought 5 years prior to that fight. Because in 2009, 2010, you had Pacquiao in his prime. You had Mayweather in his prime. The fight should have took place when it happened back then. Well, for the night, who I got tonight, Mike Frazier. You know, dog, if you betting some money, I'm going to say go Chicago, bro. Go Chicago. I got Chicago tonight. Seattle's good. I love my man, Russell Wilson. That's my guy. Doug Baldwin, that's my guy. You know, Wagner, that's my guy too. Earl Thomas, future Cowboy. But Seattle right now, man, they're a mess. They're a mess. So right here, Mike, I would say if you're a betting man, Mike, I would say put your money on the Bears. So the Bears. My man Bit Ron chiming in again. Man, Bit Ron, it's a bad move, dog. It's a bad move. Because, I wouldn't come back, period. I'm 50-0. My net worth is nearly $1 billion. I ain't gotta come back. I'm done. I've proved my point. I'm done talking about it. I made my money. I beat Pacquiao. I beat everybody who y'all said I couldn't beat. I beat. So I don't see a reason to come back. I don't see a reason to come back for anything. Even money, Ron. Even money. And I love money. But I don't see a reason to come back. Even for the money grab. So Floyd don't need the money. So why you come back for a money grab? Now, if you really want this, Floyd, understand this. Floyd Money Mayweather has everything to lose. Everything. And nothing to gain. That unblemished record, 50-0, that means something. Because I'm in barbershops all the time. I'm in the hood all the time in sports debates. And even with an unblemished record, people still doubt Floyd. They still say, oh, Floyd undefeated, but Floyd is not in my top 5. Even with the unblemished record, this man is 50-0. The great Ali lost 5 times. Joe Frazier lost time and time again. Duran, Hagler, Hearns, you name it, they all lost. Floyd never lost. Mike Tyson, at one point, was the scariest dude in boxing shorts. He lost a few times. George Foreman, he was Tyson before Tyson. He lost. Liston, he was Foreman before Foreman. He lost. They all lose. Just like Wesley Snipes said in Undisputed, one of my all-time favorite sport movie, it wasn't in my top 10, but one of my all-time favorite movies was It's Undisputed. He says sooner or later, someone comes along and they got your ticket. So Floyd, do not come back and fight Pacquiao. He's a southpaw. He's unorthodox. This guy can land one lucky punch and knock your ass out. So don't do it, Floyd. Leave it alone. You made your money. You made your point. You the man, Floyd. You're undefeated. You got all the titles. You've beaten over 20 world champions. You're the man, Floyd. Let it go. Hey, Bit Ron, you right. And I never once ever mistake Floyd for being out of shape. Now, he does spend a lot of time at Fatburger. But hey, Bit Ron, and Bit Ron, you know where I'm going with this, dog. If I can eat fat burgers all day and look like Floyd, I would do it. But I can't. I just can't. All right? So I know he is in good shape. But are you in boxing shape? Are you ready to go handle a 12-round fight? And you're right, Mike. And whether it's money or passion or the need to prove something, either way, it's a risk. Because I think for the most part, and we've all seen Floyd fight, he's a defensive fighter. He has avoided that big hit that ended some guy's career. He's avoided that big hit. So I'm thinking, okay, the more time you spend away from boxing, the more risky it is to come back. Now, if Floyd really wants to come back for money or for the proof point, fight Canelo. Hey, Bit Ron, hey, you right. Not 9 figures will definitely change your mind about something, man. But here's my point, though, Bit Ron. My man, Bit Ron from Boston, y'all. Bit Ron, if that's the case, whether it be money or passion, fight Canelo. Canelo, think about it. Floyd Mayweather is the only blemish on that kid's resume. He's got one draw. We got 2 draws. He avenged that draw to Triple G. Now he beat Triple G on Saturday night, even though I thought it was little suspect. Hey, whatever. A win's a win. But my thing is this: if Floyd really wants the bag, or if he wants to prove some point, sign a 2-fight contract. Because I have a feeling in my heart, I have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of Triple G and Canelo. I got a good feeling that we might see Triple G and Canelo for a 3rd time. Now, in case we don't, then Floyd come back and fight Canelo. Because everyone says that when they fought the first time, Floyd schooled him, and he did. Canelo was raw and very talented, but he wasn't ready for Floyd yet. Floyd schooled him. I mean, the dude was swinging that air. He could not touch Floyd. Canelo is a much better fighter since then. Floyd has gotten older since then. So if you come back, Floyd, if you must come back, then fight Canelo. Fight Canelo, $100 million. Leave it at that. If that's your point. But me personally, I wouldn't come back. Leave it alone, Floyd, because if you put a number 1 in either column of that 15-0-0, if you put 1 L on any of those records, you forever kill your image. Because the undefeated streak, you being 50-0, that's your claim to the great ones. Because no one I talk to thinks that he's a better fighter than Muhammad Ali or Hitman Hearns or Hagler, Duran, both for the Sugar Rays. Not everyone who I talk to got Floyd down here in their top 10. But the only thing that Floyd has that can trump every argument is that, look, all those great fighters lost fights. Whether it be the great fighters or some lucky southpaw dude, they all lost. I never lost. Y'all put me in front of world champions, Olympians. I never lost. So, in my opinion, Floyd top 5. He's not number 1. That's Ali, because Ali beat the best and he lost to the best. So I got Ali, I got Sugar Ray in there. I got it'll take some time to kind of come up with my top 5, but I got Floyd in my top 5. So whatever point that Floyd is trying to prove, then I don't know. But either way, you're not going to change their mind. No one thinks you're top 10 and you're undefeated. Now, that's wrong. That's very inaccurate. Floyd is top 5, dead or alive. So, there it is. So, what I would do, if I was Floyd Mayweather, I would go down to Fat Burger, get me a double cheese with some fries, get me a Coke, and call it a night. And say, you know what, boxing fans? I gave y'all everything I had. I'm 50-0. I'm filthy rich. I'm healthy. I can wipe my own ass. I can do whatever I want to do. I'm healthy. I ain't punch drunk. I ain't all knocked out and laid out in a wheelchair. I'm healthy. I'm good looking. I got women. I got money. I got cars. I got houses. I'm retired. Leave me alone. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Well, that's my show for today, y'all. But like I said, I got some good news for all my loyal fans and followers out there who've been following me since day one. I love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support and y'all feedback. And I got some great news, man. My podcast that y'all hear and see right here every Monday at 6 p.m. will be playing the audio from this podcast. Will be playing on Kingdom Promotions Radio every Wednesday from 6 to 7. No, from 5 to 6. I'm sorry. Every Wednesday, Kingdom Promotions Radio from 5 to 6 every Wednesday, every hump day, man. So while y'all in y'all traffic getting off work, man, 5 o'clock, y'all that traffic jam, man, put your phone on, man, put on the radio, man. Listen to old good old PC talk some sports, baby. Like I said, thank y'all for y'all support, man. I started doing this, man. We doing podcasts. Now we're on the radio, man. So what's next? Hollywood? We'll see, baby. But thank y'all so much for y'all support, man. I love y'all, man. Be easy, man. Be safe. Be true to yourself. Peace out.